Steve Perriman, workhorse in the middle of the field, and up front, Martin Chivers and Martin Peters, the two Martins, absolutely sensational in the air, both of them. And they were a real problem for any team that played.
Well, Frank, there must have been a few changes to the Leicester City side that we see now from the one we saw in the first part of the programme.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a new goalkeeper, Mark Wallington, who went on for me and established himself as one of the top 5 keepers in the country. He was tremendous. To follow in Charltons' footsteps was something to do, I can promise you. But Mike Stringfellow, I mean, tremendous character, great player, very skillful string. Jeff Blockley, brought him from Arsenal, tremendous character. Jeff at the heart of the defence, good player. Graham Cross was still in there, still doing his stuff. Keith Wells, Samuel Birchall, Bob Lee. He came in up front, played up front with me. Probably not the best combination to work as a twosome because we were both big lads and Bob wasn't the most mobile of players, but you know, he's still quite effective.
So Spurs kick off, attacking the goal to our left in white shirts and black shorts, Leicester in their familiar blue, and both sides in an unfamiliar position, right towards the foot of the table. In fact, Leicester propping everybody up in 22nd place, and Spurs are 4 off the bottom. Both sides in relegation trouble, both sides desperate for 2 points to ease themselves a little and to lift morale as well. Referee Ralph Lee having a quick word with Joe Kinnear for a challenge there that gave Leicester that free kick. Some worried men there. The Terry Neal, the Spurs manager, second from the right, with the substitute Jimmy Neighbour on the right-hand side of the picture. Wilf Dixon there with him. So it's a free kick to Leicester, to be taken by the number 5, Jeff Blockley, so recently with Arsenal. And a goal kick to Tottenham. I remember Jeff Blockley, in fact, having, I thought, one of his best games for Arsenal here in a really resounding derby game against Spurs. They're looking to him to prop up the defence now. Rofe. And a throw to Leicester City, which Rofe will take. Here's Worthington. A lot of delicate skills, and he finds Rofe again, who can get the cross in, but that time Joe Kinnear was in for Tottenham, and Con is racing hard for it, but so too is Birchinall. Con got there first, Blockley to Whitworth, Peters coming in first, and he's all right, he's onside, isn't he? Is this the breakthrough for Leicester? Turned inside, oh, and Worthington missed a chance, and yes, it's there by Stringfellow, and Leicester go into the lead. Stringfellow, who finally turned it over.
Well, he's a bit lucky, I suppose, there, Frank, but he's a man of, as you said, great skill.
Well, I'm glad he was there because I just slightly mistimed that ball as it came in, so String, he covered for me well there, but it was a tremendous character, String. I loved him. He was, in his own quiet way, had a wry sense of humour, very, very intelligent footballing brain, and, you know, he had a tremendous amount of skill.
He didn't miss many like that, though, Frank, did he?
No, well, I mean, he could hardly miss from there, but...
Tried its best not to go in, didn't it? But Stringfellow played against us in the Cup final in 1963, so this was at least 13 years he'd been at Leicester. And really, I remember him more for how dangerous he was in the air. Stringfellow, really good in the air, too.
Yes.
Not a bad-looking cross either, but again, Kinnear got on the end of it for Tottenham. Here's Naylor. That was a push on Duncan, which the referee didn't see. And Duncan felt it. Birchinall. And a free kick, or is it a throw? It's a throw on the far side to Tottenham. So now it's with Knowles, played on for Con. Nice trickery there by Alfie Con. Oh, just over! to establish himself in the Spurs side, Alfie Conn, but there was some beautiful trickery there that got past two defenders, and a shot in the end just too high. Kinnear. Well, Peters couldn't get that one. Whitworth. Weller. Now Conn. Played for Martin Peters. Duncan is ahead of him. Knowles is coming up. Peters again. What a beautiful pass there for Knowles. There's the cross. It's deeper. And Naylor will struggle to get this back, but he's done it. And Duncan is underneath it. So too was the fist of Wallington. Peters obscured there by Conn. And Leicester with 9 men back. Naylor crossing this in again. Perriman is there. It'll come for Knowles. Oh, and now he's given it to Samuels. It's not away yet. Chivers now towards Duncan. Hits! Oh, no! And Wallington almost there by Duncan. And Wallington just got a hand to it and is glad now to catch it. Good shot there by Duncan. Good save by Wallington.
When you're bottom of the table, Frank, it gets a bit feverish, doesn't it, when you're under attack like that?
Yeah, I mean, we're under severe pressure there. It was a great save from Mark Wallington there, but we were defending in numbers there, and we needed, at the time, to have everybody back there.
You've got that single goal lead, and you had to protect that, didn't you, at all costs?
Yeah, we certainly did, because they were good side Spurs at this time, and putting us under a lot of pressure, and all players from all positions capable of scoring goals.
So now, can this be the moment for Tottenham? Peters will take it, although Knowles is lined up as well, and it's Knowles who hits it. Weller who gets it away to Knowles again, and now a goal kick to Tottenham. Lee. Oh, a nice little nod on by Lee. Now for Wellington. Oh, and a great save by Jennings. Lee, who is being a superb target man there, hitting him with everything, Leicester. And a nice little touch off for Worthington and a brilliant save by Jennings. Now here's Lee again. Now for Roth. Leicester keeping up the pressure now. The cross coming in towards Worthington and a header! Fisted away superbly by Pat Jennings. A beautiful climb again by Worthington. Jennings fisted away and Worthington held his head in his hands. He couldn't believe it. Lee. Now Conn. A touch for Duncan. A lovely back heel there to Alfie Conn from Duncan. A little touch on the game. Penalty, said the referee, though Conn was down. Conn looks in pain, but the referee said there was no infringement there. Naylor in a bit of trouble. Perriman with a chance to get him out of it. Conn taking it up again. Perriman. Now Kinnear. Now can he cross this one? Towards Marty Chivers, in with a header, but it's passed. Well, the apparent injustices to Tottenham have really got the crowd fully behind this Spurs side now. As the whistle goes for half-time, and the boos come up because the crowd are not happy with some of the decisions that the referee, Ralph Lee, and his linesmen have given. And in fact, Martin Peters there, the Spurs captain, going straight across to the referee to have a word with him about some of them, I would imagine. Welcome back to White Hart Lane, with Leicester now attacking the goal to our left. And certainly Spurs' morale is going to take a bit of lifting now. They've won only one of their last 12 games. And Leicester, I'm sure, will remember that it was in November when, in fact, they were healthily placed in the league when they went ahead against Spurs. at Filbert Street and lost 2-1. Jimmy Neighbour now on as substitute for Tottenham. There he is on the ball now. And I think it's probably Terry Naylor who's gone off. On for Peters. I think Terry Naylor really looked quite the part in the middle of the field where he was playing. So he's gone off, and Spurs have really gone to look for a little more striking power. Wide on the wings from Jimmy Neighbour. Well, it's Joe Kinnear making the running for them now. Duncan saying he wants it in the air, but it's too high even for him. Perriman standing off. Peters was hopeful of getting in the shot. And a misunderstanding there in the Leicester side. Now it's with Knowles. Perriman. Played in again towards Duncan, and Whitworth having no nonsense at all getting that one away, but Perriman tackling him hard. Whitworth again to Worthington. Taking on McAllister now. If he's got the acceleration, he's got a chance. There's the shot, and what a save! Oh, what a save again by Jennings. Worthington doing so.
Well, you had a team full of characters, Frank, but what about Jimmy Bloomfield? Did he have any sort of charisma?
Oh, bags of it. Wonderful manager, great style. He wanted his team to play football, everything on the deck, a bit like the Brian Clough way, the Manchester United way. And you know, he had for me, it was a great man, great manager.
You were encouraged to express yourself on the field.
Well, he did all the time, and he never told us how to go out and play. We used to have a little routine on a Friday morning, but a shadow play, get the rhythm, get the routine of the basic pattern of play. But you know, tremendous manager.
Good babysitter too, apparently.
I mean, it just happened that we're travelling back from a game up at Newcastle one time. I just got married, you know, we hadn't sort of got our feet, you know, hadn't got everything together, and I was struggling for a babysit this night, and we were talking to Jim and the lads, and he said, "What are you doing tonight?" I said, "Well, we're hoping to go out with the lads. You know, the lads had a bit of a night out with the wives on a Saturday night." I said, "But I haven't got a babysit." He said, "It's all right, I'll babysit for you." So,
and he did.
I mean, I think the only manager that's ever babysat the one was you know, but you know, he was such a great guy. It was, you know, I didn't look on that as any sort of weak thing. I mean, just a lovely gesture.
I'll mention that to Alex Ferguson. The young lads fancy a baby.
I can imagine Alex saying that.
Yeah. What was Alan Birchnell like? I mean, I'm just trying to get a picture here that at the bottom of the league, and everybody's down, and Alan Birchnell, he was always funny. He always has something funny to say. Was it always welcome, though?
He just lifted the dressing room, you know, with his humour. You know, I mean, he just he was bubbly. He was effervescent. He had so much going for him, Birch. You know, he used to have the, you know, Jim would be taking his team meetings before the games, and Birch and all, and have up to some little prank, and he used to, what he used to do is get this long shoelace tight to his boot, and he called it the claw because it was his left foot, and he thought it was a magic wand, you know, and he'd tie this boot and he'd leave it out of the dressing room, pull the string into where he was sat, and then he'd get the trainer, the coach, David Coates, to knock on the door, and you know, Jim's taking his team to it, and Jim would say, "Oh, the bloody hell is that?" "So it is, David," and David opened the door, and there was nobody there, and in had come this little boot on this piece of string, say, "Come to Daddy, come to Daddy, come to Daddy," Birch and all, you know, I mean, just full of all kinds of things, you know, just lifted the whole dressing room.
And he's still there now.
And he's still there now on the commercial side. He loves the club inside out, and he's just one of the great characters of football.
Aye, good.
Be an outswinger by Keith Weller. Curling out there towards Perriman, and here's Jimmy Neighbour. Con, well, he ran into trouble there. And Whitworth has had a very good game in defence for Leicester. There's Birchnell's long kick again towards Stringfellow, who's popped up in some unexpected places. Lee. Curled in again now for Worthington. Number 2, Frank Worthington. And that could just about be the goal to sink Spurs.
As you're saying, one of the easy ones, Bobby.
You dream of things like that, don't you?
Yeah, but you watch here, Bob, it just takes a little bobble, so I've got to keep my eye on the ball. It just sits up a little bit for me there. just keep the eye on the ball and keep the concentration. Just dink it into the far corner.
Yeah. When things are going bad, usually they're the ones that you miss, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that could have just slipped under my foot, but you just got to keep your eye on the ball.
I'll tell you one thing, when you're going back to the business at the bottom of the table, a 2-0 lead is not bad, is it?
Yeah, I mean, at that particular time, it was so important to us.
It has two effects as well. It gives you a boost that you're 2-0 up, but also you know that the opposition and the fans of the opposition are going to start getting onto them.
And that's another help.
Yes. Well, you'll see by the end of the game, the longer it goes on, how the crowd get anti their own team, really. You know, because they're fed up.
Leicester versus Worthington. Spurs 2-0 down, and you've got to say it, apart from two tremendous saves by Jennings, but for those, they would have been in even worse trouble. Knowles to Neighbour. Taken away by Weller. Lee, Samuels hit first time into a space where he knew that Stringfellow would be. McAllister getting that one away for Kinnear. Now for Cobb. Hit wide towards Jimmy Neighbour. Here's Knowles. Perryman to Con. It's a whole wall of blue facing them though. And that little 1-2 really didn't look like coming off. McAllister again, a chance to play it wide, is pumped in there once more though. Played down for Con, and hit, oh, what a save by Wallington. Knocked out by Leicester, whacked in again on the volley by Alfie Con, and a beautiful jump and catch by Wallington. Birchinall. Now Con. Stopped sooner or later. Oh! Stopped, in fact, by Wallington in the end. A lovely jinking run, and the longer they held off, the longer he went on. In the end, Wallington stopped him. And a good long kick it is into that Spurs penalty area. Will it come for Worthington? Samuels with a shot. No penalty, but Worthington is there again as that ball came away from Perryman. Flicked in once more. Perryman still right in there, and then had enough calmness about him to whip it wide of Weller for Con. Pushing the back on Con, and a free kick to Tottenham. Just 10 minutes to go now. Duncan followed by Blockley, and Whitworth to give Spurs another throw. Chivers throw, Whitworth under pressure. Stringfellow away. And here's Worthington in so much space. Whack it goes to the far side. What a ball. Straight to Keith Weller. And Worthington wanting it back again. Weller taking on his man and going round him. There's the chip inside now. And Lee hits it in. And Samuels makes it 3. What a beautiful goal for Leicester. Worked superbly.
And I suppose it all started with that great cross, Bobby.
Well, you know, I never thought of Frank Worthington as just being a goal scorer. I knew that he had a good left foot and he could pass the ball. I remember going to a match at Stoke and seeing him play, and I thought, well, for a striker, that is a hell of a ball. And he knocked a good 50 or 60-yard ball. Absolutely the same as that one there. So, no, it wasn't something that he only did occasionally. He had it in his repertoire, and he used it.
And also in your repertoire, I suppose, was a devotion to Elvis Presley.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was the greatest. He was the king of all time for me, Presley. I mean,
how did it all start?
In fact, they used to call me Elvis. You know, that was my nickname. Just mad about his music and his persona and everything else. And I used to play his records all the time. I think we played. Willie Morgan and I, when we were at Bolton, we were playing we were away on tour somewhere, and we were playing the Elvis tapes all the time. Ian Greaves, the manager, he got that fed up with him. He picked him up and threw him off the bloody bus.
And what about when you were in America? Did you get a chance to get involved with Elvis fans over there?
I went down to Graceland's, met all Elvis's people. people that worked for him, and
Oh,
had a
really?
look around the mansion. When I went to play in Philadelphia, I was presented with one of the TCB necklaces that Elvis had made for all his friends, and I've got all the memorabilia, the Memphis newspaper the day Elvis died, and all this type of thing, and you know, and they're all very treasured
I
possessions.
suppose he did die, did he?
He's definitely not been spotted around Sainsbury's recently.
A bit of a showman, though.
Yeah, he's a great.
Oh,
A showman too, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, a showman appreciating a showman.
Amazing to think, on this ground where for so many years Spurs were the most difficult side in the world to beat. They've won only 4 home games all season, and their last one was on December the 7th against Newcastle, again by this same score of 3-0 that Leicester are now beating them by. Cross, Lee, McAllister, Perryman, who's done the work of 2, Con, stopped by Birchinall, running into all sorts of trouble in that rather muddy middle area. Worthington. Bob Lee. Rofe. And offside against Frank Worthington again. Chivers now for Con. Trying to get that 1-2 going again, but Rofe was alive to it. Now Con, can he get past Rofe this time? He has indeed, and done it well. What a good punch away, though, by Wallington. Knowles coming in. Neighbour. And the whistle had gone. No advantage played. Well, it might have been better for Spurs, but it's a free kick for them, and it's the old trusty left foot of Cyril Knowles again. Towards Martin Peters. He couldn't get it, and Rofe whacks that one away as the final whistle goes. 2 valuable points for Leicester City, who, as I say, have not won in the league since November the 2nd, 15 matches ago.